Hello everyone and welcome back to Veluwe Zoo. And today we have a lot planned. So let's get started with the managing first, but I really have a lot to build today. So we're gonna keep the managing as short as possible. First check on the flamingos. Yeah, there's just a lot of them, so that's okay. Let's check on our reindeers. They're doing good. Okay, I'm gonna make someone happy, so let's try this. Sub to Zoofluencer. Trade. Here you go, guys. Make someone happy. Let's also check on our grizzly bears. Nice swimming. All good. Alright. Okay, that should be enough. Let's get building. For the people who really enjoy the gameplay part of the episode, I really make sure that the next episode will be a bit longer. But by the time I was recording the gameplay, I already made this in the sandbox mode. I really had no clue yet what I wanted to do with the building. I just wanted to try to create a roof like this, and to be honest, it was a lot of work. I already had like 3.5 hours of footage only building the roof, and I did cut it out, like most of it, and there's only like 2 minutes left in this video of me creating this roof. Otherwise it would really be a boring video to watch. But as you can see, that you really have to put every piece one by one to create these geometric roof types, and it's really worth it in the end. And it really looks cool, but it is a lot of work. So as you can see, I just created one piece of the roof, and I can copy it to the other side, but then you really have to start laying down these pieces one by one, and it's really, you have to be patient and it's really a lot of work, but in the end it's really worth it. I was actually hoping that I could create like an entire dome roof out of these pieces, but it's pretty much impossible to do it with the, well, it is impossible with the pieces that we have in the game. So I ended up with a little bit of a different shape, but it really looks perfect in the end. So this roof will be a new habitat, and it will be a new part of the zoo, and it will be a habitat for the Pygmy Hippos. And yeah, this will be part of the tropical area of this zoo. I know I have been building most of the North American part of the zoo, but I didn't want to spend like 4 or 5 episodes straight only working on a North American styled part of the zoo, but I want to experiment a bit more with all the pieces. So I decided to start on a tropical build. Again, yeah, I know, I've been building Monkey Island, it's a tropical island, but I wanted to do this anyway, because I really wanted to create a underwater viewing as well, and I thought the Pygmy Hippos would be the perfect animal to do this. This build was actually inspired, but I really have to say inspired, because in the end it doesn't look like that one at all. But it's the mangrove building in Veluwe Zoo again. I know my previous build was also inspired by Veluwe Zoo in the Netherlands. But yeah, this build doesn't look like it in the end. I will put a picture up right now. You can see that the roof has some similarities. You know, it does look the same. It uses the same pieces, but this building looks completely different. But yeah, the inside, I just wanted to say the inside of this mangrove building is just really nice. For the people from the Netherlands, you should really visit the zoo and see the inside of this building. It's just amazing. So I just started on the roof in the sandbox mode, and I created a blueprint and then put it in my franchise zoo. I just wanted to start off in sandbox because I didn't want to spend a lot of money, and I didn't want to take care of all the animals while I was focusing on the roof, basically on the building. So I decided to start in the sandbox, which is really useful if you actually build in franchise and you don't know yet what to do. So right now I'm starting on the viewing area, and this will be the underwater viewing part, and this will be the main path, just passing by. Basically this will be the main event in the tropical area of this zoo. Right now I'm putting down the glass for the underwater viewing, and you already did see me doing a lot of terrain work for this build. Right now the roof doesn't fit the glass, so I have to move it a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of terrain work going on for this build. I actually lowered the main part already, so it really feels natural for the guests to just walk in and you are already like in the underwater part of this habitat. And then after that you will have 2 different viewing areas as well, so the guests really have a good view on the animals in this build. I'm really happy, by the way, how this build ended up, because when I built the roof I still had no clue what I wanted to do with it, and but I'm really happy with the final result. Right now I'm doing the terrain work, putting the water in, just checking if everything fits. I just need to raise the terrain a little bit, just to make sure that the water actually almost touches the top of the glass wall. So right now I'm just covering the barriers up with some rocks. I still use the temperate rocks. I have been thinking about using the tropical rocks, but then you can't really blend it in with the terrain work as I really love to do, as you guys probably already know. But yeah, I just stick with the temperate rocks and they do look perfect. You can't really see that I didn't use these tropical things, because actually the tropical rocks have like a purplish color over them, which I didn't really like, and yeah, but this just looks perfect in the end. Doing the rock work a little bit differently than I did, for example, in Monkey Island. I did look at a lot of pictures from my zoo visit, and this looks more, how should I say, realistic or more accurate on how a zoo would look like. So that's why I'm changing it a bit. Right now I'm just trying to decorate the front of the habitat, so the people will walk in from this side, and you really have a separate area which will be the underwater viewing, and I finally can use the same plants as I'm used to. As you probably know, I spent like 300 hours in Monkey Island just placing down these plants and rocks, so I do know which plants I can use and which I cannot, and how to use them. So this part looks fine in the end. By the way, before I forget, I really want to thank you all for subscribing to my channel. It has been crazy for the last week. I really grew at least 100 subscribers in a week, which is just, I don't have any words for it. I'm really happy with that. So I'm really want to thank you, all of you, for joining my channel. And by the way, if you didn't do it already, make sure you do subscribe to my channel. But anyway, I'm starting on the backside of the habitat and doing the terrain work, trying to make sure everything blends in perfectly. And I'm still thinking about this underwater part of the habitat. I want it to look interesting. I just don't want to just throw water in there and that's it. So in the end you will see that I will do also some rock work actually underwater, and I try to put in some plants, but it's difficult because you can't just throw any plant in because it's franchise mode, so you do have to think about what the Pygmy Hippos like and what they don't like. So you just have to take care of that. And there was actually only 1 or 2 plants that I can use for this water part. So, but it will come later in the video. Right now I'm just trying to blend every point of the roof in with the rocks. Again, just using the same rocks all over again. By now we do know that this game consists of placing a lot of rocks. But rocks make everything look much better, so why not just use them all over the place. You can see me looking around with the camera a bit more than usual. I really want to get the perfect view from the front, and I'm just checking up. When I place some rocks, I just check up on how it looks. I did cut out most of it, but you still see me sometimes turning around the camera and just take a look from the front to the building, just see how it looks, and because I wanted to make it look perfect. Right now I'm starting, I think, yes, on the viewing area on the side. So there's a little viewing, not really a viewing platform, but I do put the terrain down a little bit. I was pretty convinced that Pygmy Hippos don't really climb anything, so I didn't have to lower the terrain that much. But I do cover it up with rocks, but yeah, these Pygmy Hippos are not the most athletic animals, so they don't really climb anything. So it's really easy to make it look like the guests are actually almost entering the habitat, and they will really have a close-up look on the animals, which, yeah, this viewing area, it really fits perfectly into this habitat. Yeah, so I'm finally starting with some barriers. No, but no, I don't like them, as you know, so I end up deleting it. I just wanted to put it in the video just to make this comment that I don't like them. But I do put some barriers in there, I have to admit. It's not a lot, but they are in there. I did cut out like a lot. I did experiment again with these barriers, with these chain fences, but they don't fit in the habitats like this. I want to make it look natural and make it, yeah, like blend in with the terrain, and that works. Yeah, in the end works perfectly with this. So I'm not sure if I already told this, so when I do the rock work, I always start like with the bigger rocks on the top, and then when I go down, I use smaller and smaller ones. So it looks like that some rocks fell down, and it makes it look natural. It makes it look like it's supposed to be there. I know I say this a lot, but I don't know. I like it. As you can see, it blends in perfectly. Putting down the gate for the staff, and as you can see, yeah, I have used some barriers, wow, but I do cover them up with rocks in the end, of course. Right now I'm creating another viewing area just with some glass and cover it up the edges with rocks, and I want to have like 2 paths going into this tropical area. So one path will of course go to the other viewing platform on the other side, and this path will lead along this viewing area and then just go into that tropical part basically of the zoo. By the way, I'm not sure yet which animal I want to put into this tropical part yet. One thing is sure, I don't want to put in any primates or like monkeys in it, because I've covered all the monkeys in the game already. But let me know in the comments which tropical animal you would like to see in this area. I'm not 100% sure if it will be the next episode. I already have like an idea that I want to do in the North American part, but yeah, you can decide which tropical animal you would like to see in this part of the zoo next. So right now I'm putting down the staff buildings on the back. I really have to think about where to put all these staff buildings, and what I like to do is like put down the staff buildings in the center and then create the habitats around it. I think that's the easiest way to do it, and it's also a waste of money to just throw down all these staff buildings basically for every habitat that you are building. It's just a waste, so I don't want to do that. Again, a lot of rocks. I'm trying to make it look natural, and then I'm finally buying some Pygmy Hippos. Then I found out, okay, I have to put down the null barriers first, so I'm trying to connect that, which will be bang, it's finished. And then, oh wow, there's already a Pygmy Hippo in there. I have to say, I really like these animals. They look adorable when you put them in. It's just, yeah, sometimes the games just keeps amazing me on how good it looks. Sometimes you don't even have to build something incredible to make it look good. Just throw down some rocks and do the terrain work, and just the game looks, yeah, absolutely amazing. I do have to say, I do play on ultra settings, so that probably helps as well. But anyway, it just looks perfect. I know that by the way, that the roof already functions as a shelter, but yeah, it's not really a shelter like this. So probably the Pygmy Hippos do see it as a shelter, but I did want it to make like another one on the outside. I really hope they will use it. I'm not sure yet, but I do think they will use it. So I removed the water, and then I couldn't get it back in. So thank you, Frontier, for putting the Control Z function in the game. It saved my life, otherwise I had to do everything all over again. But I showed you guys that I do also have some of these problems. Not everything is as smooth as you would see in the video, of course. I cut out a lot, especially for this episode. I had around, I already told you, like 3.5 hours for only the roof, and then like another 3 or 4 hours for the rest of the build, which is a lot for this franchise series. Normally I have like, in total I have like 3 or 4 hours just to put in to the speed build, so I really cut out a lot of it, so just to make it look smooth and not to bother you guys with like a 45-minute episode of me placing rocks and plants. So that's what I try to limit the time to, like 15 to 20 minutes. This one was probably like 20 minutes, I think so. I'm checking it right now. Yeah, around 20 minutes. But anyway, the underwater area is I'm putting down some rocks, putting a rock in the middle just to make it look more interesting. Then I found out I used some trees that the pygmy hippos do not like, so I had to get them out. Putting down the plants also in the water. I actually googled how these plants would grow, so I tried to make it look as natural. I don't like when it looks like a floating plant. It's not realistic, so I'm also putting down these rocks inside the water just to make it look good, and it would be much more interesting for the guests to basically to see it. And after placing these plants, it already looks much better. So we're almost reaching the end of this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really proud of the final result. So if you did like it, make sure you hit the like button. If you didn't do it already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and you will also be the first one notified when the next episode of Veluwe Zoo will be up. I would like to thank you all for watching, and I will speak to you guys in the next episode. Goodbye!